and of course, every other person, our royal fathers, and every other person involved. I'm going to dive right into the session. This session, I dare say, is a very, very special one because we have such an assortment of professionals that I am sure you would be delighted to hear from. First on this panel will be Ms. Doris Mbadiwe. She's the CEO of the Interbal Foundation. I'm sure she's right here somewhere. And while we're, yes, she does deserve that. Please. Make it warm, make it warm. You're welcome, sis. Also on this panel, I'm going to dive right into the names so that they keep coming as quickly as possible. Mrs. Grace Obi-Ukpabi, Acting Director, Social Development Department of the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning. Please just continue to encourage them. Also coming up right after that is Mr. Sunday Sanusi Agbabiaka, National Data Manager, GBV, for the Federal Ministry of the Women Affairs. Also on this distinguished panel, Mrs. Osa Orale Gladys, Director, Co-Curricular and Gender Unit of the Lagos State Technical and Vocational Education Board, LASTVEB. Also coming up, my very sister, Dr. Atinuke Temitope. She's the director of the so very much. Mr. Sunday, you are blessed amongst women. But then again, you know, in a summit like this, you expect that you'll be seeing a mix, some he for she's. I'm going to before I dive straight into my questions, and seeing the kind of potpourri of professionalism that we have in the room, and the mix of private sector, civil society, I want to set an expectation. The gender inclusion, but particularly with planning and budgeting, how does it relate to each and every person here? I'm aware that for a lot of people, when you say gender, the first thing that comes up is women, girls, and that's it. But then again, having listened to Her Excellency's speech and also your very, very piercing, to borrow Kayode's word, speech, and the examples that you gave, we have a task that is happening here from this room into action and in a way that is sustainable. You'll all agree with me that one of the easiest things to do, especially in this climate, is create programs. But how we set these programs in stone, in concrete, so that they are lasting, they expand, but they become a part of our culture is what our session is really all about. Moving the conversation like a harm into the community. So with that in mind, I'm going to dive into my question for you, ma'am. Putting LASTVEB in view, I want to ask, what concrete strategies has LASTVEB in responsiveness into technical and vocational education? What lessons can be drawn for other states or regions seeking to close gender gaps in TVET? Of course, this question is with the background that our education and governance structure is what we're looking to build on here. So we want to look into your example.
Okay. I want to say good afternoon. Still sitting on the existing protocol because we're sitting. I'm Mrs. Osa from the Lagos State Technical Education Board, representing the gender unit. In fact, I'm the director in charge of gender for the technical colleges. Looking at the question you just asked, I will first of all create a context here, because before now we used to have TVET that was male-dominated, both in trades and in leadership, and that gender gap created limitation for female students to participate in technical fields. Mm-hmm. And so LASVEB came up to say, we are committed to equity, inclusion, and then skills for all, no matter who you are. So that's the context, that's where we are coming from in LASVEB. And at the point, we had this strong partnership with GIZ. GIZ had been a very strong partner in terms of gender and social inclusion. Before we started that, we looked at the policy on ground. What is the policy of the Lagos State government in terms of gender inclusion? The Lagos State government came up with this Teams Plus agenda. I don't know if every one of us have heard about that. Before then, it used to be the Teams, and the Teams Plus policy on gender inclusion and youth development. So we grabbed it. This year, Isaac came on board, opportunity, and we started. We started first. You know what the work plan is? The work is a roadmap where we are going to, all our objectives, the activities, how we're going to, any changes, we're able to do that. And so the work plan came in place. I also want to mention here that Lagos State government has a gender unit who we also collaborate with. It is called the Gender-Based Sexual Domestic and Sexual Agency. Gender inclusion in Lagos State. We had the opening 2 days ago where we went pop campaign for the society. So coming down to the technical college, how we've been able to strategize the strategies we are putting to make sure that our TVET system is gender responsive. Mm-hmm. Mentioned one, then two, the work plan, then capacity building for our instructors. And this capacity building did not just come up without the support of GIZ. GIZ gave us the platform to build, to raise awareness within the, and so we went on. We had the capacity building for 100 instructors last year in Lagos State.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Sorry, to the private sector?
No, not from the private sector.
The private sector?
No, not from the private sector. In Lagos State, we have 5 technical colleges.
Right.
In Lagos State, we have 5 technical colleges located in 5 different. So we invited instructors from these 5 from
of
home.
Course.
So we had to start from us.
I like that structure, and I want you to hold the rest of that thought. Yeah. I want to take that and transpose to having seen the governance. I want to, and then of course the education leg. I want to take that and then seeing the involvement of GIZ as a partner and transpose that into a civil society setting. And I want to ask you, I wanted to ask the private sector, Dr. Atinuke, but I'm going to take that and ask you first. Being in a civil society space, how are you able to reconcile these, or to your understanding, the effectiveness of these programs? Because now you are not in governance, but you can understand there is some level of interministerial partnerships going on there. Help us to assess this.
Thank you very much. Again, good morning. I think it's still morning or afternoon.
We'll take it.
Yes, so I'm the CEO of Interbar Foundation. We're established to bridge the gender gap in skills and employment in Nigeria's construction industry. So that's our focal sector. I would say that, of course, in partnership with also the German and Swiss government with the implementing agency GIZ, we carry out a lot of initiatives, but the main one is what my sister actually said, my big auntie actually said, which is the gender mainstreaming. So gender mainstreaming is really important. What is that? To make gender very focal, to bring everybody's attention to the gender, what gender is, and increasing female participation in the industry. For the construction industry, mostly, there was an issue, and the issue was in terms of female employment, just not having enough women coming forward to even express interest. So of course, with our partners, we took to the streets. We carried out what we call a mass awareness campaign. We went to, we go to private and public secondary schools. We go to TVET colleges. We go to communities because we know that parents, community leaders influence decisions that the youths make. We also go to, again, in addition to those places, NYSC orientation camps.
Okay.
And basically to say what? 4 things in a nutshell. That construction careers are gender neutral. We have over 190 careers in the construction industry. Women can access all of them. We can participate.
All of them?
All of them, at every level. Now, in the construction industries, there are 3 major categories of construction workers. We have construction entrepreneurs, we have the construction, so the entrepreneurs, you either own or manage a construction company. We have the construction professionals. We talk about the engineers, QSs, builders, and the sort, and we have the construction artisans. Now, we found a larger number, of course, as professionals. But when we go out, we basically tell the females primarily, and then the general public, that there are over 190 careers, and women are welcome to participate.
In all.
Now, and even just collating that. So we go there with pamphlets, booklets. We also tell them about the pathways, how to access those opportunities. And this has been a very successful exercise going forward. We also engage the mass media, just to reach out to a few other people, more participants. We use billboards, newspapers, social media, the usual suspects, Facebook and all of that.
Do you get any funding from maybe government on this?
No, we don't get funding, but we have a partnership. So some of our training centers, we use the Federal Training Center, so we're in partnership with them.
Great.
To use their spaces. To have, to be able to train a lot more women.
Fantastic. I'll take that and then take that to the Federal Ministry of Budget and Planning. I'm sure you knew I was coming to you when I was asking if she got funding. But then again, the question is just very simple. The ministry is currently developing a framework on gender-responsive budgeting and planning. Could you share insights on its objective, purposes, and key elements?
Thank you very much, moderator.
Thank you,
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, house here, and our royal fathers and everybody present. My name is Grace Obiukpabi. I'm an acting director in the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, and I head the Social Development and Gender Department. We have started the process of institutionalizing gender-responsive planning and budgeting because of the experience over the years we've had that interventions at federal and state levels are mostly not coordinated, not documented, not enough. And we begin to think of, last year I was here and I spoke about the first work we did was to have evidence-based. So we picked up our National Development Plan 2021-2025 that's expiring this year, and we began to review it wearing a gender lens. With the gender lens, we find out there are a lot of gaps in our plan, and everybody in the house knows that it's what you plan for that you budget for. And then you release money for. Find out that the national plan has a gap. I was here last year in this summit to talk about the work we did. So we came out with that gender report, identifying the gap in our development plan, and we began to notice that this is one of the reasons why the funding and budgeting was also having issues and gap. And this year, with the support of UN Women and GIZ, we began to develop what we call the gender responsive planning and budgeting. By the way, in Africa, what you see is gender responsive budgeting. Mm-hmm. Find out that is not enough, because if you do a gender responsive budgeting, how do you factor the plan? So you finish the document and it can't speak to the national plan, and there's no fund. For us, we began with a gender responsive planning, and then we translate into budgeting. That draft is already done, and just a little bit of experimenting, because we have a lot of beautiful documents in Nigeria. We want to try to put it in use, and so we are looking to work in states where there's this strong zeal to have gender responsive system. For Lagos State and Edo State, we understand that GIZ is working with them on gender responsible budgeting. So we want to roll out that document to see how it's implementable before we move forward. The purpose is to make budgeting and planning transparent, accountable, and inclusive.
Right.
That is the main objective of that. When you say you give so and so amount for women or gender issues,
yes,
we want to be sure that it's not contract for the boys.
So much. Yes, you know that please do, so that the money will come out. Great work you're doing, Madam. I admire the steps, especially seeing that there has been a concrete improvement from where we were last year to this year. And I'm so expectant that this year.
I forgot to mention that this year's budget has a caveat. If you're a civil servant here, your ministry's budget submission, when we asked for the core circular, we said you must state what percentage of this budget we are giving to you this year for gender and how you intend to implement it.
Right.
And the information is that at the end of 2025 budget, we are going to monitor.
But because of where we are now, I wanted to come to Mr. Sunday last. But because of where we are now, let me just ask budgeting, alongside the expanded GBV dashboard that we have now at subnational levels, strengthen data and evidence for policy design and improve access or services for women and girls. Because now there's all of this work going, it's trickling down from ministry to ministry. Now I want you to take us through the subnational levels, how especially data, because of your role, how this is going to enhance all of our work.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I hope I'm audible enough. Okay, my name is Sunday Sanusi Agbabiaka from Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, the data manager for gender-based violence. I am he for she, and my minister just left now, and she has actually done all I would have loved to say, but from the angle of data, yeah, I want to just say one or two things. In Nigeria before, we've not had anything like this kind of platform where we have gender-based violence data put in one place. But the minister then thought it wise that there is need for this in order to inform programming, that we must definitely have something. So we kickstart with about 6 states, one per geopolitical zone, to test run that initiative to see how we can, get on this kind of area. It was a good initiative that we can run with. So we have to take it to the National Council on Women Affairs, which is the apex decision-making body, to give us a go-ahead so that we can cascade down to the remaining 36 states. And as at that time, we can be referring to it as national data. So this we did by, targeting State Ministry of Women Affairs, okay, with the director of PRAs there, who we, gave the role of state validators. So all the NGOs, CSOs working in that particular state, right, will be profiled, rendering services to survival of gender-based violence. They profile them and they start transmitting their data online to the state ministry for onward transmission to the national dashboard. And that has been done since 2020 and up to on the states now with the help of this civil society organization. So they don't have budget for it. They still need capacity, so they need their capacity to be built on how to, because most of them came on board when the capacity of others has been built. So, we have to do a and that of service delivery form. As we speak now, we are close to about 50,000 cases reported nationally. And out of that 50,000, we have about close to 5,000 perpetrators that their cases have been concluded. Before, we don't have that before. The synergy between the Ministry and Ministry of Justice gave us this good result.
I'll take your thought on synergy.
Yeah.
Because this session, we were really harping on interministerial synergy, collaboration, mixture of government, civil society. But the end of all of this education, capacity building and all of that is empowerment, which lies really squarely in industry. And that brings me to Dr. Atinuke. And the question is simple. What initiatives, having taken this potpourri of policy movement, practical examples, what policy movement, practical examples, what or led to a business environment? I'm asking this because there are many people in here who may have programs budding or building in this area, and they might want to build on your example.
Okay, thank you very much, moderator. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Tinuke Temitokwe, and I am honored to be here from the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Business, Entrepreneurship, Skills and Technology Center, popularly known as the BEST Center. We pride ourselves at the best. Support gender and inclusion. Because our activities at the BEST Center from establishment in 2018 are surrounded supporting women and people that live with disability. We pride ourselves in ensuring that we include them in everything that they needed to be included, because the economy also thrives. There is a lot of benefit. We've heard a lot from all the speakers that have been speaking since morning. So because of this, in 2019, there was a call for proposal from VET Toolbox implemented by the GIZ that we put in for. And this call for proposal was on gender and disability inclusion and mainstreaming for technical vocational education and training. So this is where our activity started from. With the support from GIZ, we get stakeholders from different political zones in Nigeria, and they were trained as master trainers. A training manual was developed from this. Manual was domiciled, it was locally domiciled for us in our own Nigerian context, putting ability in Nigeria. After this training was done, the plan was to cascade this training across the country, but COVID hit in 2020. So when COVID hit, what are we going to do? While we're on lockdown, we came up with an idea that, okay, everything is going on the internet, virtual. Why can't we have this course as an e-learning course so that anyone, anywhere, even outside of Nigeria, can still have access to this course? While we were thinking about this, when I saw the theme for this GS25, it resonates. New ideas, new approaches. Okay, we need to expand. We need to explore different opportunities to ensure inclusion is mainstreamed. When we were trying to remodel the course content for an e-learning platform, which GIZ also supported, we didn't stick to TVET anymore. We make it open. So I would like to say every one of us can take the course on our e-learning platform at no cost currently. The Chamber is running the course at no cost on our e-learning platform. You can log into learn.accinigeria.com. And what is different about this e-learning course is because it's beyond TVET. We now bring in ideas and knowledge from different areas for you. Either you are an administrator, you are a CEO, you are a technician, whatever profile you are. We have 3 different profile pathways. So whatever profile you are, this course is to teach you, is to give you knowledge on how you can actually include women and people that live with disability, either in the job role, either in the workplace, either to ensure that in all that you do, people that live with disabilities or women are gainfully included.
Great.
That is one.
Love it.
Then secondly, I would like to, a lot we have done, but another one I would like to mention is another intervention that we currently concluded, which was also supported by GIZ and the ICR facility, is on the need for Nigeria to have a definition for women-owned and women-led businesses. There is a lot of intervention from the government and development partners that are targeted towards women-owned and women-led businesses. But how are we sure that this intervention are actually reaching out to them? Because there is a lot of feedback too that companies are registered with a man and a woman, and when they say this intervention is for a woman-owned business, the woman fronts and goes. When the income is coming, the man is the one that is still leading business activities. 51% of this must be run by the woman to ensure that this is actually a woman-owned or woman-led businesses. So we are calling on people in government. The Minister of Women Affairs has been very supportive in this advocacy, but we are calling on as many as possible. We need voices to ensure that we have our own locally domiciled definition in Nigeria that supports and projects that this is a woman-owned businesses. So
and we're going to add our voice to that, because this is the season of new voices, new approaches. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you were registered and you received a link. If you can show me by hands if you received a link for a poll. If you did not, then that's fine. You will probably get that link. We would like to hear from you as well. But for you sitting here, this is an example or a few examples of catalyzing change. If you're interested in catalyzing change, you're interested in engaging best practices for gender-responsive education and governance, especially taking it from a planning and budgeting function, these are your examples. You know where to go, you know who to call, you know who to partner with courses, you know who to call for funding. I heard a lot of GIZ. Please put your hands together for GIZ. And on that note, with these examples, I want to thank you all, please. I want to thank you very much for being on this panel, sharing your experiences, and particularly for the good work that you're doing. Thank you so very much, and thank you for listening as well.
All right, thank you so much. Can we put our hands together for them? Lots of interesting discussions there. Can you take a group photo real quick before you step down? All right, and while they're doing that, we do have, can we put the QR code up, please? For those who would like to get the agenda, I believe that's the QR code on the screen right now, so you can use your phone to scan that.
Absolutely. I would also like to invite to the stage the GIZ partners for the photograph, please. GIZ partners kindly come on stage to join the panelists for this photo session.
Are they close by? If not, maybe they can take that one outside.
They're close by. There they
are.
are.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, and while that is going on, would like to acknowledge the presence of Engineer Akintunde Akinrogunde, representing the Minister for Solid Minerals. If you're in the house, please, can you wave? Oh, welcome, sir. Can we put our hands together for him? Thank you so much for being here. Okay. All right, we'll take 10 more seconds for that, and we'll move on very quickly. Coming up next, we have a video. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for them as they step down from the stage. Thank you. We have a video, GS25 from the streets of UNN. I'm sure our royal father from Unsuka will be very excited to see this one because it's from your corner of the world. All right, do we have the video up, please?
Inclusion means the ability for students to be able to practicalize what they have learned in the real world. You never can tell what a person feels like or what it feels like to be in a position if you are not in that position. So I feel like students should be given platforms to express themselves and share their opinions and views about certain areas in the university.
The inclusion in education have to be that everybody have to be included, everybody have to feel comfortable. In this university, University of Nigeria and Soka, we have a large number of disabled people, both young and old. And I don't think they're being included in what is going on in the school. Other faculties, other departments, the buildings are not disabled friendly. The roads are not friendly at all. So I think they need to be included. They should map out an office for disabled person among the SUGs. We don't have lecturers who are disabled people, but they have disabled people that are attending school. So I think we should give them that opportunity.
When it comes to major decision-making processes, there are two departments that always comes first, that are always at the forefront, which is biochemistry and microbiology. I don't know if it's because they are probably the longest in the faculty, but it just, gives us this sense of your course has not been accredited, just be at the back, We don't even have our own departmental lab. We don't have a departmental library, but biochemistry do have. I'm sure there are a lot of departments that feel neglected because they are not usually at the forefront of decision-making processes in their faculty. So I think that would really help.
Nigerian students, we lack some level of support. There is this concept that we are okay, but meanwhile, we are lacking major facilities. I'm an economic student, 300 level. We lack computer systems. Even though we have some that are there, they don't function perfectly. That's one of the reasons why the student union government are there. But then we are not seeing their impact in terms of the needs of the students. If there's a way we can, a system that can be created, to amplify their voice and truly speak out for the students. Because that's why the body is created, that's why they are there, to stand for the students.
I am so glad because it has been an amazing ride at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. We asked students questions and they gave us a lot of insights into what inclusion means to them in education. We cannot wait to see you at the Gender and Inclusion Summit 2025. Be there.
That was a good one from our students. Can we put our hands together? That was a really good video, and I guess it's in line with what our keynote speaker was talking about, being able to speak out and talk about the issues. I wish the Minister of Education was here. Maybe he would be able to respond to some of the things that they put up. But we're glad you are here, sir. Our royal father, you can help us translate some of this at some point. Thank you very much. At this point, we're moving to another plenary.